the teams. And from the key win over Southampton, just the one change for West Ham United. But not in goal. Lucas Fabianski's debut in English football came over 15 years ago against Newcastle. Nair Fagade scored his first Hammers goal last time out, and the back four is unchanged. One of Lucas Paqueta's 2 West Ham goals came in the reverse fixture. The only change from the weekend sees Mikel Antonio replace Danny Ings for his first start since mid-February. Ings on the bench after 4 starts in a row. Consistency of selection has been the name of the game for Eddie Howe this season, but he does make a couple of changes for this one. Nick Pope now out in front for clean sheets in the Premier League this campaign. It's the customary back four as Dan Burn makes his 50th appearance for the club. A hamstring issue for Joe Willock sees Joel Linton back in the starting 11. Callum Wilson starting after 3 games as a sub. Willock and Isak still options on the bench. Well, for David Moyes, that victory over Southampton saved his side the risk of ending the weekend bottom of the league. And Eddie Howe, well, he's only looking up, leapfrogging another of the United's, Manchester United at the weekend. A fabulous victory, and he'll hope to back that up tonight. Alan, what about Declan Rice? We know he's such an important player for West Ham, but we also know he might have given Newcastle a bit of the runaround last time round.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe mentioned it after that last game. He said his players didn't get close enough to West Ham's captain. They didn't stop him from playing. So that's worth keeping an eye on, whether somebody like Joe Linton can push on to Rice when he gets on the ball. But as we know, Rice is so important to this team, and he's having more of a say further forward this season as well. Well, it's just so great to watch Alan Saint-Maximin back to his best, I thought, against Manchester United. His decision-making, when to hold the ball, when to pass, it was spot on, which hasn't always been the case. And in that kind of mood, any fullback would have his hands full. So can Thilo Kehrer tonight cope with the winger?
Callum Wilson finding his starting place, disappearing slightly with Isak coming to form and starting games after his injury. But Wilson a chance to face one of his favourite opponents in West Ham United. And Mikel Antonio getting that assistance up front. We've just seen him on the bench more recently, but with the games coming thick and fast, he starts tonight instead of Danny Ings. Well, these two clubs who started this season would have wanted to be in the European mix. One of them looking firmly at the Champions League. And West Ham United, who are still in Europe, don't forget, in the UEFA Conference League, but also looking to stay in the Premier League. Well, away we go. A 50th Premier League meeting between these two clubs. But the respective performances this season wouldn't suggest this is going to be a 50-50. And wouldn't suggest we're going to start the game properly. Let's give it another go. Away we go again. And West Ham United, fresh off that victory over Southampton, buoyed by that result. Not a buoyant performance, Alan, you were there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, there wasn't too much.
Shearer and Botman together in that penalty area. Trippier picked one of them out. In goes the corner towards the back post, and it almost reached Shearer. Now defended by Emerson. Danger not clear here. And Newcastle looking to take advantage. What a start! Callum Wilson. Oh, he loves scoring against West Ham United, and that's exactly what he's done again. The Magpies flying again. West Ham the better of things in the first 5 minutes, but just after that, it's Newcastle United with the breakthrough.
Well, it came via a lovely bit of footwork by Alan Saint-Maximin over on that far side. Faced with a couple of players, he's got the beating of both. Nobody gets close enough, though. Having said that, there's still a fair bit to do for Callum Wilson, but he executes it beautifully just to guide it past Fabianski. But this is what we've come to become familiar with Saint-Maximin. Lovely footwork, but the end product's there as well. Beautifully flighted in, perfect for a centre forward. That.
Back in the side, back in the goals. And Newcastle United supporters loving life at the moment. 11th goal against West Ham United. Newcastle United, you think about the start, the way this game started, we're only 7 minutes in, but the first 5 minutes of those. All you can hear at the moment are the Newcastle United supporters. Ball played through, flag stays down, Joel Linton will put it in, flag goes up. He's smiling like he knows it.
Yeah, you felt he had to be off. He looked a mile off, but I think it was actually quite tight. He's just trying to bend his run to stay on, maybe leaning into an offside position. The man on the far side there. Could be an interesting one, this. I think it was Emerson over there, was it? Who just looks a yard perhaps behind his fellow defenders.
I'll tell you what, Joel Linton's expression has changed now. He had a wry smile, now he's hopeful.
He took it well enough. Sometimes you're relaxed in these situations because you know you're offside. He couldn't have known he was offside for definite here.
With a VAR, David Coote. Lots of concern on the West Ham bench at the moment. They believe.
Maybe they've drawn their own lines.
Have to draw a line on them winning this game if this is given. And the green line is there, and that means it's onside. And Newcastle United and the supporters are about to find that out. Wait for the roar from the away end. And Joel Linton back in a Newcastle United starting 11, and just like Wilson, scores on his return.
Well, they've just cut a path clean through the heart of that West Ham back four. I mean, again, Zouma, left flat-footed, all assuming he was off, I think. Cher's ball didn't have to be all that clever. Such a soft one to concede. A long, long way back now for West Ham. But what a start from Newcastle. What a start.
And they're enjoying every second of it. And Joel Linton able to enjoy the moment. After they looked at it closely. And Emerson keeping West Ham United in the last 10 minutes or so. And all they really want here is a goal. And Bowen sends it, and Zouma's there! Zouma scores! Just what West Ham United needed. And how quickly games can turn.
Totally different match now, isn't it? Totally different. The stadium has been lifted. They needed something, and this is it. Nick Pope hasn't made many mistakes this season, but this is one of them. Gets pinned by Antonio, and no man's land. Make it an easy nod in for Zouma. Can't believe his luck. It's a soft one. Newcastle haven't conceded too many of this nature. But West Ham will take it.
Well, his goals this season have come at home. Just what David Moyes needed before half-time. So game on again. First half, and that's very confident from again. Indeed. That's trusting your goalkeeper. Oh, That's not trusting at all. Murphy across, and a start to the second half that will delight Newcastle United. 2 for Callum Wilson. More traction on the road for the Toon Army. David Moyes cannot believe the error from his side at the start of this second half.
Well, between them, Fabianski and Naya Fagert have made a real dog's dinner of this. He's not enjoyed his best night at all, but he was put in a really awkward position. The worst of starts for the home team. What about this? He's got time to sort his feet out, but that second touch gives Murphy the opportunity. The easiest goal Callum Wilson will ever score. You could argue it's been 3 gifts from West Ham for Newcastle's 3 goals. A howler between them.
And for Callum Wilson, well, you can't give him a gift like that, especially if you're West Ham United. Yet another goal for Callum Wilson against West Ham United. To think just seconds after again, and looks so calm with his header back towards. Here's Paquetá. Almost threaded it through to Cornet.
Trippier on his toes there. Wasn't going to allow that ball to go inside him.
Rice. And Emerson. Strong challenge from Gordon. Guimaraes and looking for Isak. And Fabianski is not there, and an empty net for Isak. Not much celebration, but Alexander Isak making another impact for Newcastle United, but another error from the Irons.
Yeah, 4 goals conceded, 4 soft goals conceded by the Hammers. David Moyes will be furious. Fabianski and Aguerd got in a real mix-up, and now this. I mean, talk about cool and collected. That's the finish of a man who's playing with real confidence. Easy as you like, hands on hips, thank you very much, and good night. That is the match. Those fans were right to leave early. It is done and dusted.
Alexander Isak, the coolest of customers, and the smile did break out in the end, and so it should. A big scoreline for Newcastle United. They are reaffirming their place. Rice. Cornet. Paquetá. Lost a chance for Newcastle United to break. And Guimaraes getting it out to Joel Linton, who takes it in his stride. Joel Linton looking for 5! Gets it! A fabulous, fabulous away performance from Newcastle United. A terrific night for the Toon Army. A thumping victory. A fine 3 points. And one to forget for West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a classy, accomplished, fighting performance from Newcastle. So impressive, this. Joel Linton's been at the heart of it, whatever position he's played. Such a fit team, and this fella has nobody fitter. But he's shown the quality this season as well. He's absolutely shattered at the end of this, but he still manages to get the power and the accuracy. Again, Fabianski might think, could have done better. Not been his finest night. Not been the finest night for any of those West Ham defenders. But for Newcastle and Joe Linton, it's been one to remember.
2 goals for the Brazilian. A bountiful evening. And no chance of any of those Newcastle United fans leaving the ground anytime soon.